Okay, so adrenaline is a type of hormone that is released in your brain in the field of excitement, fear, or stress in this situation. And from the very start, at the time I joined the research club, I didn't know that I fear being ordinary. But as I progressed, I tend to know that I literally fear being a ordinary. I always want to stand out, even the things I do subconsciously, but they are all results in that I am fear of being ordinary. And there are many other things I'm still learning and I still want to learn about myself as well as about how to tackle the other situations that I'm still learning those. So, okay, like I just fear being ordinary, so that was the main teaching. And I just diverted from the another topic. That is the also thing that I need to improve in myself. That whenever I'm just focused on a single topic, I just can't use seems to focus there. Just any another topic where to just flare up in the middle, I just go along with it till the very end. Instead of sticking to that or sticking to the main topic that I have set my goal to, I just divert to the another things. So that is the also things that I need to improve in myself. So I joined the research and innovation department by the at the date 21 July. That was my first day. I also vividly remember that that first task that I was assigned was to study about the data visualization. How does it take place? But I literally hated that. It's still that memory is resurfacing in my brain, and that pictures are like just in front of my eyes. I literally remember I was very frustrated that, ma'am, what are you giving me? So instead, I needed the tasks that were aligned with the Python programming language or aligned with the artificial intelligence or machine learning. But I was given the tasks, what? Data visualization, like using your Matplotlib or C1 libraries. That is the first of them when I hear about that. So I like I had a deep, intense conversation with her. Like I was just right on to the fight when I just mentioned her there. So, like when I had the conversation with her, like why I am being assigned this particular task only, but she said that you need to do it. So I just didn't argue with her, and I just continue on with the task. So that's how the everyday went by, and then as the things went by, I was assigned a project in which particular project I need to work on developing a complete model that will be able to extract, sorry, that will be able to extract the number plate of the vehicles with the help of the YOLO Vision library that is developed by the Ultralistic Python or Ultralistic YOLO, it is also known as. So the model which I was intended or which my mentor told me to use that it was that YOLO V8 means it's version 8. There is a lot big family of the YOLO. If you want to explore, you can just put Ultralistic YOLO. You will get the whole page of it. And then I was pretty much excited because that was the first task that I was assigned, especially of the machine learning as well as your computer vision. That is the first point when I developed the interest in computer vision, and that just I decided that is the field that I need to do something in. So I started working on that project for 1 month. 1 month totally just gone by learning the basics, training small models of YOLO V8, which were necessary for learning how the model training is done based on the data set which we usually collect from Kaggle or which we collect from Kaggle or your RoboFlow is also a nice platform for dataset collection. So I just worked on those, and as soon as the days went by, I was getting literally overconfident that these things I was doing all those with the help of artificial intelligence. So instead of doing something on my own, I totally depended on it. My plan was ready by the October, but the things were not properly optimized because artificial intelligence or any kind of LLM just gives you answers based on the things that already existed. And I was trying to solve the problem of the optimization. The specs of my devices, the specs of my machine are not that like so high profile. Just Intel i5 U series processor that is power consuming mainly, and then the power consuming processor, and i5 the your 8 GB of RAM, DDR4. So it wasn't an integrated graphics like 120 Intel USD graphics. So no graphics card. So it was pretty difficult to optimize that. I was trying and again trying. Like I tried many times, but system was totally out of response. It didn't even respond properly. So just kind of frustration piled up. And then by the end of October, my sleep cycle totally got devastated. I used to sleep for 12 hours. Like even if I were to sleep at 10 p.m. in the night, and I literally used to woke up at 10 a.m. in the morning, and still I used to feel heavy. No calmness, nothing. All the things were like my brain used to just, it wouldn't cope up. And that's all continued till 27th of November at the time when I just bursted out totally. And that burst was primarily because my system just crashed. That was not a dramatic explosion, but a quiet nervous system shutdown after a prolonged stress load. That because for that time period, for the 129 days from 21st of July to 27th of November, till this time period, I was just doing 14-hour plus grind session that were fueled by the adrenaline. And the reason the adrenaline was continuously seeking out, it was because I was just focusing on the grinding. The mindset, let just, I have written it down here, what kind of mindset mine had become. My brain or my nervous system in that 129 days, it started to believe that if I am slow, then it is unsafe because whoever are slow, they are not making any kind of real progress. If I am doing something like even if I am sitting calmly, my nervous system used to think that I am wasting time. Whenever I was resting, like whenever I was sleeping, I was not sleeping properly, but instead I had a nervous system was fearing that if you rest, you will fall behind. And when I was having a leisure time, like just watching your web series or playing games, at that time I was doing all those with a guilt. The guilt was, it was a self guilt. The guilt was in such a way that if you don't do properly, or if you just, if you are leisuring out here, then what will happen of your race that you are part of? And even if they were, even if the days they were neutral at those time, I was having the fear that my identity would collapse. And if we talk about my identity was built on the fact that I have to be a kind of superhero or a fantasy main character who does not went to any kind of situation, who is able to face any kind of problem on his own, like just the lone wolf, who is able to master any concept just by reading it once, who is able to solve any problem with a utmost perfection. That is how I was comparing myself to. And it's not like even still I continue to do, but We will see the still part now. Let's just go. And that was the reason this main breakdown happened because, and my identity, it was also attached to the performance. Like, if I were to get the results of the thing that I am doing, like if I study for 12 hours, then and if I get some kind of result, that will be the time when my identity got pleases. And if by any chance I don't get any kind of result, then my nervous system was saying that we didn't do anything today. Even though I studied for the 12 hours, or at least I did something, that wasn't counted. The things that were counted were only the performance, or if did it derive any kind of result. So you may say that for these 129 days, my actions were result oriented, totally result oriented. Nothing was taking its place there. So that was one of the most dangerous things that is to happen there. And then what? The results, the result was mental exhaustion, sleep disturbance, severe brain fog. Like even when I sat for to solve any kind of problem, my brain was, it didn't run by any way. All the fogginess, like I used to drown literally like this. Means, example, I will tell you the experience what I used to experience. Whenever I sat to solve any kind of critical problem, my brain, I used to understand the problem, each and everything was going fine. And then, like, after 20 minutes or 30 minutes, the brain used to feel heavy, like some kind of load is just piling up over my head. And I just used to think that I don't need this. I used to throw it away and then just sit back and put my head down and sleep and just take a nap and whatever things that could relieve me of this particular matter. So that was the result of that brain fog and emotional breakdown. And I cried like a baby, just like a 5-year-old cries whenever someone hurts him or whenever someone gets angry at him for a small mistake. How does that particular small child cries with him in front of his mother? That's how I cried in front of my mentor. I also remember the time. It was around 6:30 in the evening. Now that I think about it, it's making me laugh. I literally told her that the self-pressure, the expectations, the fear of expectations of that the expectations you are keeping from me, I fear of breaking those. That is the reason I cried. And another one is that the self-pressure because I am thinking I should have done this till now, but I haven't done. And why there are not any kind of concrete results, so such things. That is the my breakdown phase. And there are also other things what happened after the breakdown. And after the research, after the concrete research, I came to understand that this breakdown period, it takes at least a 6 month, at least minimum, to totally recover from that. And in those 6 months, many things can happen magically. And there are about 19, 8 days till the completion of 3 months. That is the half period. And I have learned many things in this 3 month period from 27th November to 19th February. Although they are not completely 3 months, but still at least 8 days. 2 month, 22 days, we may say, just a approximation. So that's how my journey from 21st of July to 27th of November, they were totally driven by the ego. My ego was not allowing my identity to collapse. As let me tell you, my identity is totally built on the fantasy or anime characters. I think I already mentioned that. So instead of comparing myself with them, Sorry, I messed it up here. That wasn't meant to be said. It's not scripted. I'm just saying whatever it's coming to my brain. So yeah, that's that. And wait for the next part. Next part will also be too much of the learnings.